أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Every Imam in his own time fulfilled his own duties that he had. There was no Imam that was placed in a position such that he stopped being an Imam, or that whichever duties he had to fulfill, he was not able to reach the goal that Allah had for him. However, there were certain A'imma by Allah's decree who had carried out certain actions that effectively became a crease in the history of Islam. And by analyzing these particular events that took place in the history of Islam, we can better understand and analyze the position that our 11th Imam alayhi salam was placed in, and to contrast the history before him and the supreme position that he was meant to play in his time before the beginning of the ghaibah. The first event that we want to analyze, after the passing of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the people had abandoned and neglected the role of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam. We see that when Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam is standing in the court of Yazid, he makes a very interesting statement. He says, أيها الناس من عرفني فقد عرفني ومن لم يعرفني فأنا علي بن الحسين. He says, O people, those of you who know me, you know me. However, as for those who don't recognize who I am, allow me to introduce myself. Then he begins introducing his family tree. In one report we have Ana ibn Safa wa Ana ibn Zamzam wa Safa. Or for example, he comes and he says that I'm the son of Hamza and the son of Ja'far al-Tayyar. Question, O Imam al-Sajjad, why is it that you're introducing yourself in this way? Why is it that you're telling the people in this court who your ancestors were? Because the people at this time actually thought that the only heir that the Rasul had left was Muawiyah. Meaning that this Yazid that is now the current caliph of the Muslims is the direct relative of Rasulullah and he has no other family. So now when the Imam alayhi salam comes and says, I am the direct great-grandson of Rasulullah, this is a shocker to the people. Who are you? Does that mean that the man whose death we are celebrating, whose head has been placed on that platter in front of the masses, is the actual grandson of Rasulullah? Well, the people didn't know. So this is the state of the people. That after the Rasul leaves this world, the people not only don't recognize the position of the Ahlul Bayt. Not only do they not know that these individuals are the infallible, divinely appointed guides that have been appointed by Allah for all of humanity, for all of creation. Not only do they not know this, furthermore, they don't know who the individuals are that are related to the prophets. And so the first crease in the history of Islam, and perhaps the greatest crease that we see in the history of humanity, is the day of Ashura itself. And that when the Ashura saga is spread by Imam Al-Sajjad alayhi salam, that massacre that took place reaches the ears of the people. We find that that which we may have at first glance taken to be a very bitter and crushing event was a crease in history that flipped the script for the world of Islam. Sometimes when we take a look at history, We'll look at certain events and we'll come and say, this event is a bad event. This is a tragedy. Why? Because we're fixated on the event in and of itself. However, when we zoom out and we look at that event in the grand scheme of things, we understand the wisdom that's behind it. And perhaps at the end of the day, we'll conclude that the tragedy was in fact a very important uplifting point in our history. See, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam never made weak political stances. Whenever they made a stance, whenever they took a stand, it wasn't weak. It wasn't just because now I have to. Maybe this might be the right thing to do. Every political stance is from a place of strength. Meaning every decision that they have made is being made on the way, on an inclined trajectory towards a particular goal. Islam at that time was on a downwards trajectory such that had the situation continued the way it was going, Islam would have suffered the same fate as Christianity and Judaism. That in the same way, for those religions, certain people came to power, then bit by bit, those who wielded influence over society completely altered the religion. Islam was facing the same fate. We need to analyze our own decisions in the same manner, where we also need to zoom out and see, where is the decision that I'm about to make going to benefit the ummah? Where might it harm the ummah? In our case with Ashura, we can see at the end of the day, when you zoom out, it was a crease in history. And we'll explain how this actually set the rest of the A'immah up on a very steep incline trajectory towards the dhuhur of the Imam, towards the qiyam of our Imam. Our actions need to have the same thoughts. What do I mean? Unfortunately, sometimes we find that there's one group that's very hasty and rash to make a political move. That for the sake of it, just because I want to be able to say that I did something for Islam, for the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, I'm going to go and say something. I'm going to go and do something out of haste. This is one group. On the other hand, there's another group that's hasty to go and disavow that group. No, he has nothing to do with me. He's not our guy. We don't claim him. He has nothing to do with us. Take him, arrest him. He's not my guy. He doesn't speak for my community. For argument's sake. See, the A'immah, they don't make weak political stances. We accept. For argument's sake, this guy's move, his slogan, his video, his decision, whatever he did, it was ill-timed, it was unnecessary, and effectively it was a weak political stance. It's not something that we're looking for. We would have actually preferred he didn't do what he did, for argument's sake. This doesn't excuse the behavior of the other group of believers that go and throw him under the bus. Why? There are many times where we find that our believing brothers and sisters are attacked and they're slandered and they're defamed for speaking facts. Objectively, what they're saying is factual. Either it's a historical fact or they're analyzing the current situation in the world that they see around them today, and it's true. The way they said it was wrong. The way they said it wasn't necessary. They went a step out of line. The way they did what they did doesn't benefit us. Remember we said we want to zoom out and see how our actions benefit the ummah. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. This guy, let's say he's shooting himself in the foot. His stance is a weak political stance. The next group of believers come and say, yeah, prosecute him. Take him. He's not our guy. Do you think that by throwing your believing brother or sister under the bus that you'll get in the good books of the enemies? That perhaps if you allow this guy to be taken, you won't be bunched in with him next time? Let's give an example. An example we've seen fairly recently. For example, a sister comes and says, not only do I not wear niqab, but I actually don't think anyone in the West should. I'm not supportive of niqab actually. So if a government of a nation state wants to come and ban it, fine by me. doesn't affect me. Take her. We think here that if we choose our battles strategically and we have a strategy, we don't take the fall every single time. It's for the benefit of the ummah. What's the distance, my sister, between the face of this sister, that if the enemy's hand reaches it, he won't be able to reach your head and tear off your headscarf next? That if you don't make a stance today, regardless of what your opinion is irrelevant whether or not niqab should or should not be worn in the West. You wear it, you don't wear it, it's not relevant. If they get her niqab, who's to say they won't come for your headscarf next? And so sometimes we very easily throw our brothers and sisters under the bus. No, he was wrong. He said something that we don't agree with. Go and take him, even though what he said was objectively factual and truth. Take him, and we think we'll be safe. The enemy will hunt us next time too. Because when you concede a battle to the enemy, you facilitate his next victory against you. So the Imam's political stance is strong, it's not weak. We also want to make sure our stances are not weak. But we want to make sure we're not wasting away our resources in the name of strategy, inshaAllah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In any case, now that this crease has happened in history, now we find that the A'immah are being set up on an inclined trajectory to doing their work more overtly. Now they can call people towards the real door of guidance and knowledge. Now they can introduce the maktab of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam to the masses, which they didn't have access to prior. They were cut off from the ma'arif of the Ahlul Bayt. How many riwayat do we have from Abi Abdullah alayhi salam? Look, Nahjul Balagha is replete with what? Sermons. Sermons given when? When he was the caliph. Letters. When? When he's the caliph writing letters to others. To statesmen, to officials, to governors, to Muawiyah. Short sayings, mostly from the time of his khilafah, because he's in the public eye. How many riwayat do you have from Abi Abdullah alayhi salam? Where is Abi Abdullah alayhi salam? Why is it that he's off the grid? All of a sudden we see after Ashura, Imam As-Sajjad alayhi salam is able to bring the Ahlul Bayt back into the spotlight. And so that we find that this crease was very helpful for Islam. Yes, it began slow. Yes, numbers were few. After all, Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam says, ارتد الناس بعد قتل الحسين إلا ثلاثة أبو خالد الكابولي ويحيى بن أم الطويل وجبير بن مطعم ثم إن الناس لحقوا وكثروا. There were 3 people left. Everyone else turned their back on the Ahlul Bayt. Everyone else left the path. Not murtad in the sense that they became kuffar. They left us though. Who is recognizing the haqq of the Ahlul Bayt? Illa thalatha. In other riwayat as well, Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam mentions other names. Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Amir ibn Wathila. Names are mentioned. Nonetheless, a handful. Yet, in this state, where Imam As-Sajjad alayhi salam has basically no one in the beginning, and he's prevented from ascending the pulpits and speaking the way we're speaking today openly, he uses the medium of the ad'iyah of the Sahifa Sajjadiyah. Read Dua Arafah, for example. And he says things that had he said on the mimbar, they would have prosecuted and executed him. You're speaking out against the caliph. Then we find in Dua Arafah, he comes and he speaks openly about how the Ahlul Bayt are those that Allah has chosen to rule over the earth. وَخُلَفَاءَكَ فِي أَرْضِكَ. From the ad'iyah. This is the first crease. Ashura. Where is the second crease in history? This is when Imam Rida alayhi salam is brought to Iran. Why? See, at first, again, when you look at it very apparently, it's a severe blow for the Shi'ah, for the Imam to be removed from amongst the community of the Shi'ah in Medina and exiled basically by force to Tus. But by accepting the position of being the heir apparent or the crown prince of Ma'mun, in fact, that blow to the Shi'ah became a blessing. How? What benefit did it have for the ummah that Imam Al-Rida alayhi salam leaves the Shia in Medina? He tells the people, cry over me. They say, it's not good to cry over someone who's going on a trip. He's saying, this is for crying for someone who's not coming back. I'm leaving. Then what's the benefit? You're being forced out by the caliph, by the usurper of the time, the taghut of the time. Where's the benefit? Now, by becoming the heir apparent of Ma'mun, Imam Al-Rida alayhi salam does something very strategically. He says, I'll come, but I'm not going to legitimize your illegitimate rule, Ma'mun. I'm coming on a condition. My coming is conditional, contingent upon this, that when I come, I will have no say in any governmental affairs. You make the decision. It's on you. Had Imam Al-Rida alayhi salam accepted the khilafah of Ma'mun, had he seen Ma'mun to be legitimate, why would he not help? He'd come and say, yeah, in fact, I'm the heir apparent. I'll come and make decisions for you. I'll sit in your court. I'll be the judge. He says, no, leave me. You want me to be in Tus? You want me to be in Khurasan? I'm coming. I don't legitimize your government though. But now that you have given me a position to speak, you've provided me with freedom of speech and freedom of movement, I'll take that to my advantage and I will give you nothing in return. You don't get legitimacy from me, but I get a platform from you. Now the 8th Imam alayhi salam is sitting in Tus and he's able to manage a system of wukala, of representatives. Question, I thought the system of the wukala wasn't even started by Imam Al-Rida alayhi salam. Why are you saying Imam Al-Rida coming to Iran is a crease in history? Let's go back. Who started the system of the wukala? In our riwayat, we have no place that indicates to us, even with ishara, that the ai before Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam had representatives. Imam Al-Sajjad alayhi salam didn't have representatives. Imam Al-Baqir alayhi salam didn't have representatives. Why? Number one, when you have a representative, you have enough people that require representation. Meaning, there's enough people that the Imam must send someone to them to represent him. We said, ارتد الناس بعد قتل الحسين إلا ثلاثة. So we don't have many people. Furthermore, whichever people we have are not spread out in distant lands yet. So number one, we don't have the amount of people that would require representatives. Number two, before Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam, the political situation was so severe that Imam Al-Sajjad and Imam Al-Baqir alayhim salam can't overtly call people to the cause anyway. Not even overtly. They can't even have a covert system of representation. And we see this, the way Hisham ibn Abdul Malik, la'anatullah alayh, how he constantly is summoning Imam Al-Baqir, imprisoning Imam Al-Baqir, threatening Imam Al-Baqir, putting spies in his circle, ultimately poisoning him. So the political situation is too severe, number two. Number three, one of the purposes of the wakil, of the imam, is that he collects wujuhat, he collects the Islamic taxes, the zakat, the hadaya, the khums. The situation of the Shia at the time of the 4th and 5th Imam alayhim as-salam was so severe in terms of their financial duress that in fact many of them were exempt from paying khums. They didn't have money. So where does the system of the wukala finally start? With Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Because now the Banu Umayyah are on their way out. They have weakened substantially. The Bani al-Abbas have internal strife. They can't focus on everything going on outside. Too many things going on. So now Imam Al-Sajjad alayhi salam, as the reports mention, is able to gather 4,000 students. Not all at once, throughout his imamah. And of course not all of them are Shia either. But there are 4,000 people who are hearing قَالَ الصَّادِقُ قَالَ الصَّادِقُ. And of course Imam Al-Sadiq was saying قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. So now these students are at his door. The thing is, at the time of Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam, he has 6 khas students that he sends out as wukala. This is a very internal thing. It's not like we have a political representative in a far out place who's representing the imam in all categories, such that this person is like a governor of the imam in a shadow government under the Bani al-Abbas. We're not there yet. But it's begun. In Imam Al-Kadhim alayhi salam's time, Substantially now the Shia are getting wealthier, they're increasing in their numbers, they're spreading out. This is a good thing. We're hit with two blows though. Number one, the wukala themselves are tortured and killed. Number two, the Imam himself is going from prison to prison. Then throw in a third wrench into the mix. Imam Al-Kadhim alayhi salam attains Shahādah. 3 or 4 of these wukala, maybe 5, they out of weak faith refuse to accept the imamah of the 8th Imam. And from here, deviant sects start to spurt out. Some of these wukala are pocketing the wujuhat. Khums is going in their pockets. Which 8th Imam? Who said we have another Imam? Imam has waqf right here. The waqifah, Imam has paused here. Where is 8th Imam? This guy? Not only that, they slandered the Imam. They said, he's not even the son of Imam Al-Kadhim. Who is this? And so the crease is here, where now Imam Rida alayhi salam is sitting in Thus, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and with complete ability is able to disseminate the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam to all the distant lands. Now, quantitatively and qualitatively, the Shia have increased. From Africa to India, we have Shia everywhere. And the people have the freedom to come to the house of the Imam alayhi salam, learn from him, then return back to their distant lands. So at this point, by accepting to be the wali ahd of Ma'mun, not only does he not give Ma'mun what he wants in terms of legitimacy, the Shia don't all of a sudden become nice to Ma'mun because he became the wali ahd. Because Imam Rida made it clear, I'm being forced out of here. Furthermore, now he has the ability to openly tell the people what the theology of tashayyu is. How do I know that this is a crease and not just a regular aspect of the life of the 12 Imams? What makes this a crease? The Imam was able to bring so many people towards tashayyu and make it crystal clear that the man who's claiming to be the caliph is an impostor. He's a con man with no legitimacy and no right to rule. I am in fact the one chosen by God. How do you know this? Because every time a Christian or a Jew or a Sabian or a Zoroastrian or people from other firaq, from other sects of Islam come to debate, I have the answers. He and his court don't. Now everyone has understood this is the Imam of the time. This is the real son of Rasulullah. How effective is the work of Imam Al-Rida? That all of the next 3 A'immah, Imam Al-Jawad, Imam Al-Hadi, Imam Al-Askari, perhaps the 3 A'immah that we know the least about, for good reason, are all called Ibn Al-Rida. Imam Al-Askari, the Imam that we're here to commemorate tonight, is living how many decades after Imam Al-Rida passes away? Or becomes shaheed? They're calling him Ibn Al-Rida. That should go to show to what extent Imam Al-Rida was able to work on the entire ummah. However, because of the effectiveness of the work of Imam Al-Rida alayhi salam, in educating the people, in maintaining the poor from amongst the Shi'ah, making sure that they don't go down whenever he sees anyone that's poor, through the wujuhat, he's supporting them. With all the work that he's doing, sending out all of these wukala to distant lands, to Baluchistan, to Mecca, to Basra. By doing this, the Bani al-Abbas become very sensitive. And so you know those 3 A'immah that we said we know the least about? It's because after Imam Al-Rida gives a severe incline trajectory now to the movement of tashayyu, the Bani al-Abbas come crushing down on the next 3 A'immah. Look at how old Imam Ali alayhi salam lived to be. Imam Al-Mujtaba, Abi Abdullah alayhi salam, Imam Al-Sajjad himself, Imam Al-Sadiq being Shaykh al-A'imma. All of a sudden you find the A'imma are being killed in their 20s, 30s, early 40s. They come crashing down on these A'imma. To what extent? Now we come to the Imam of tonight. Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam is forced to Samarra. How old is Imam Al-Askari? Perhaps almost 2, at most 4, maximum 5, max. Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam is living his whole life in Samarra. He's not been given permission to leave Samarra once. You know when someone's put on probation, what does he have to do? In America, I think once a month, if I'm not mistaken, he has to go and report to the probation officer. Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam from childhood is brought to Samarra. Not once is he allowed to leave. Meaning the Imam of the time is the only Imam, the 11th Imam, is the only one who has not ever performed Hajj. He hasn't been allowed to leave. Furthermore, like a man on probation, he spent 1/2 basically of his imamah in an actual prison. The other half, he's stuck, exiled away in Samarra, not allowed to leave. Every week, twice, he has to go and report to the caliph's court. I'm still here. I didn't leave. As if he's on probation. Yes, I'm still in Samarra. It's been 20 years, I'm still here. This is the position of Imam Al-Askari. Now, so we said Imam Rida alayhi salam did all of his work. We're coming fast forwarding to the Imam of today. The 11th Imam alayhi salam has 2 problems. 1, you're living in Samarra away from the hub of the Shi'ah. The Shi'ah are not based in Samarra. Up until now, Samarra isn't considered to be a Shi'ah city, is it? So the people can't really see you. Number 2, the next Imam is going to be in ghaibah from the get-go of his Imamah, such that you guys won't even see him when he's born, before he's the Imam. Before Imam Al-Askari leaves this world, you won't see him then, the majority of you. And after he becomes the Imam, you definitely won't see him. He'll pray the Salatul Mayyit and he's gone. Tell me now, the Shia have increased quantitatively. They've increased qualitatively. But now we're at this very sensitive juncture that what's Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam going to do to preserve the Shi'i identity, so that you know that you're a Shi'a, so you know what's going on with your Imam, so you know where to take instruction from. Now what? So 2 things. 1, his access is cut off, more or less. 2, the next Imam will completely be cut off. Do you know how much he was cut off? There was a group of Shi'a that had come to Samarra, and they were waiting in the alley outside of the house of the Imam alayhi salam, waiting to see him. Imagine everyone's happy, we came all this way to Samarra, we're going to see the Imam of our time, son of Rasulullah. A letter reaches them from inside the house. The letter is from Imam Al-Askari, and he says, "La yusallimanna alayya ahadun." None of you should say salam to me. You see me in the streets, don't stand up out of respect for me. Don't approach me. Don't let them know that in your heart you have love and devotion to me. Pretend you don't know me. I came all the way here for you. No. Either kitman awil qatl. Either you hide your identity as a lover of the Ahl al-Bayt, or qatl. You'll be killed. This is the position of Imam Al-Askari. Imam Al-Askari now has to take on a plan of action to make sure that the Shia identity is preserved. Number 1, we said that the Imam of our time, Sahib al-Zaman alayhi salam, is going to be in a very sensitive position, such that the people won't see him. Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam says, the first thing that we need to do is we need certain people to see the Imam. You know, there were spies inside the house of Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam. Meaning inside the house of Imam Al-Askari, there were women that were placed around the women of the home of Imam Al-Askari to find out what's going on. Is anyone pregnant? We know, we've read the riwayat as well, we know that this man, this Imam, will have a son, and that son will be the savior of humanity and will destroy all of the oppressors. Find out, where is he? The moment he's born, eliminate him. Like the time of Musa alayhi salam. So the birth of the Imam of our time is completely secretive. Complete secrecy. There are no signs of pregnancy. No one can know that this Imam is born. So 40 trustworthy Shia come to the house of Imam Al-Askari alayhi salam, and he says, come this way. And he shows them the Imam of our time. Not one, not two, not five, 40 individuals have now said, we have seen the next Imam. He exists, he was born, we saw what he looks like, we saw him in the house of the Imam, we saw the similarity in facial features, done. Itmam hujjat. Number one. Number two, okay, we saw the Imam. The Imam now has to come and say, by the way, I showed a few of you the Imam, I didn't show you the rest of the Imam. Those of you who have seen him, those of you who haven't seen him, know this, he'll go into ghaibah. Meaning the ghaibah was foretold. It's not like one day you're going to wake up, Imam Al-Askari has attained Shahādah. Where's the next Imam? Oh, didn't you know? You're not going to see him. What do you mean I'm not going to see him? 40 people came and said they saw him. Why don't I get to see him? No. The people knew in advance he's going into ghaibah. One, certain people saw the Imam. Two, we were told he's going into ghaibah. Is this enough? Well, to me and you who have lived our entire lives understanding that our Imam is in ghaibah, it sounds like enough. For people that have had the barakah of 200 years plus, seeing the Imam of their time, hayy and hadir, are now being told that they're not going to see the Imam, this is a shocker. So what does the 11th Imam alayhi salam do? He himself starts to cut off communication with the Shi'ah. So now imagine people are coming inside the house of the Imam puts a curtain. Talk to me behind the curtain. Don't look at me, don't see me. Talk to me without seeing me. Get used to it. You're not going to see my son. He would take on these forms of communication, such that the person comes all the way from Samarra, he gives him a letter. I came to see you. No, take the letter, read the letter. Letter suffices. What's my son going to do? Tawqi'. Take tawqi' from now. Take my letter. So the third thing that the Imam does is he starts to limit communication. But then he does a fourth thing as well, to prepare us for today. Remember the system of the wukala? The Imam alayhi salam, from the time of the A'immah, he starts preparing us for the system of marja'iyya. Some people come and say that the Imam never intended for us to go to fallible individuals and seek the ahkam of Islam from them based on their ijtihad. The Imam never wanted this. Who said? Imam Al-Baqir alayhi salam tells Aban ibn Taghlib, he says, Aban, اجلس في مجلس المدينة وأفت الناس فإني أحب أن يرى في شيعتي مثلك. He says, Aban, sit in the masjid, go sit in the gatherings and give fatwa. What? Give fatwa. Don't direct them to me, to my house. You sit down with the people, give fatwa. Why? Aban, I love that people like you are seen amongst my Shi'ah. I want more people like you that have the ability to do ijtihad, who are Islam shinas, who are faqih, who understand the spirit of the law. You sat with me, Aban, so much. You go now and explain the spirit of the deen to the people. You do it. So now our Imam that we're here to commemorate, he's operating completely through this system. Not completely in the sense that no one ever sees him, by the way. We have multiple reports. Someone comes to the Imam and says, explain to me what this ayah means, that لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ, about inheritance. These conversations are happening. But more or less, the people no longer need to come to Samarra, because we have individuals in each city where there are hubs of the Shi'ah to get the instruction of the Imam out to the people. This system of the wukala, or the system of the marja'iyya, will ultimately be the defender of Mahdawiyya. Brothers, sisters, the people today that try to move us away from marja'iyya are trying to take a shot at Mahdawiyya. If it wasn't clear before, look at the people today that are telling us we don't do taqleed, we don't refer to the maraja. Who are these people? Who is Sheikh Mufid to come and say, I saw the Imam? Look at the people who say this. And then go look at how they doubt Mahdawiyya as well. Marja'iyya, referring to the scholars, to the experts, to those with taqwa, ruwat hadithina, is the defense of Mahdawiyya. And so the Imam alayhi salam, in his fourth line of action, he preserves the Imam and the Shi'i identity through these representatives. Now, final point. We said that at this point, the A'imma alayhimus salam and the Shi'a at large have gained power. Remember we said, ارتد الناس بعد قتل الحسين إلا ثلاثة. There was no one left after Ashura. Imam al-Sajjad is working with scratch in the beginning till he works his way up and trains scholars, remember? Then we said in the time of Imam al-Rida, we had all this power. Quantitatively we're more, qualitatively we're more. Basir. Can you imagine? Imam al-Rida has done so much work on the ma'rifah of the people that when he comes and says, yeah, my son, he's 8 years old. He's the Imam. Listen to him. And they pass the test. They accept an 8-year-old to be the Imam. Qualitatively, quantitatively, we increased. We have power. What does Imām Al-Askari alayhi salam tell us to preserve our Shi'i identity and ensure that we don't lose our power? He says, Alamatul mu'mini khamsa. The signs of the believers are 5. Who are the believers? You and I. Number 1, as-salatul ihda wal khamsin. 51 rak'ah salah. Why is this a sign of the believers? Because the Ahl Tasannun would say that the Shi'a don't follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah in praying the Sunnah prayers. As you know, the Ahl Tasannun have 15 mustahab rak'at of salah. 12 of them are from Salatul Fajr till Salatul Isha. 3 of them are Salatul Witr. They have 15. The Imam says 17 wajib, 34 nawafil, 51 rak'ah of salah is a sign of a Shi'ah. 1, come and pray. Show the people how you pray. Number 2, at-tahfir bil-jabin. The Ahl Tasannun, the mukhalifin, they may pray on anything, on a carpet for example. The Imam alayhi salam comes and says, you as those who follow the real sunnah, when you prostrate on the dirt, let that sign on your forehead, on your jabin remain. This is a sign of power. We're not hiding. Number 3, at-takhattum bil-yamin, wearing a ring on the right hand. Wearing a ring on the right hand is from the sunnah of Rasulullah. However, after the battle of Siffin, Amr ibn al-As dupes Abu Musa Ash'ari and says in the matter of the Hakamiyyah, you remove Ali ibn Abi Talib from power, I will remove Muawiyah. Ibn Abbas comes and says, whoa, Abu Musa, chill for a second. He's going to tell you to go first and you're going to mess everything up. Abu Musa says, don't worry, we came to an agreement. We agreed. Abu Musa goes up and he says, Amr ibn As and myself have come to an agreement. I am removing Ali from power in the same way that I take my ring off of my right hand. And he comes down. The damage has been done. Amr ibn As goes up and he says, guys, Abu Musa only had the right to remove Ali. I'm the representative of the people of Sham. I also agree with Abu Musa's decision to remove Ali ibn Abi Talib. And in the same way that I place my ring on my left hand, I place Muawiyah into the position of the Caliph. From this point on, even though it was a sunnah, wearing the ring on the right hand is a sign of being Alawi, of being Shi'ah. Wearing a ring on the left hand is a sign of being Umawi. The Imam is saying, wear your ring on your right hand. You have power now. We have numbers. Qualitatively, we're strong. We're spread out so far and vast. Wear your ring on your right hand. Number 4. Number 4, he says that you're praying your 51 rak'ah salah, and there's dirt on your forehead, and there's a ring on your finger. When you pray, make sure you recite Jahr bi Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The Ahl Tasannun either don't recite the Basmalah, or if they do, they insist on reciting it quietly. When you even recite your Dhuhr and your Asr prayers, where the surah is recited quietly, your Bismillah should be loud. Let them know I'm following the Sunnah. All of this is power. Whoever wants to come and say the Imam prefers to sit in the corner of the masjid and just talk about fiqh, where? The Imam is coming and saying, puff your chest out, we have power now. Number 5, وَزِيَارَةُ الْأَرْبَعِينَ. Harun, la'natullah alayh. Mutawakkil la'anatullah alayh. They destroyed the graves of Imam Al-Husain alayhi salam. It was difficult to go for the ziyarah. In the time of Imam Al-Askari, no one's destroying the graves anymore. Question. Now we can go. Everyone's going. Oh Imam Al-Askari, why did you not simply say Ziyaratul Husayn? Why did you say Ziyaratul Arba'in? If I had said Ziyaratul Husayn, everyone would have gone at their own time, whenever it was convenient for them. They would perform their individual ibadah and they would have come back. The Imam is saying, no, I am giving you a specific time and place to congregate as believers. I want you all to come together. And what place better than the Karbala of Abi Abdullah? Everyone from the Shi'i world, from whichever corner you've come from, get together, discuss, speak about the problems that exist in your place. Get to know one another, establish relationships, have unity. There should be synergy amongst the Shia. Where is that going to happen? Karbala. When is it going to happen? Arba'in. And then someone very in a silly manner will come and say, at that time, which Arba'in? What at that time are you speaking about? The Imam is looking at today. You don't think the Imam is seeing the 20 million Zawar of Abi Abdullah today when he's saying this hadith back then? Give me a break. The Imam is saying, you Tullab, you Shia, you don't know how to attract the people towards the maktab of the Ahlul Bayt. So let me go give an open invitation to the people to bring them towards us. You don't know what you guys are doing. Come on. How many years have gone by? You weren't able to bring people to Tashayyu. I'll do it. How? When our Imam rises, inshaAllah, he'll say, Ala ya ahl al-alam, inna jaddi al-Husayn qataluhu atshana. How will the people, one, know the name of Husayn, two, know his masa'ib? The Imam says, I will teach them. All of you gather in Arba'in. The enemy is paying billions of dollars for their propaganda machine, for their movies, for their commercials, for their advertisements, for their social media, for free. Show up in Karbala on the 20th of Safar. I will show the world who Husayn is. وَزِيَارَةُ الْأَرْبَعِينَ. The Sahib Azaf tonight is Sahib al-Zaman himself. Imam Al-Askari and all of the Imam have gone through all of these hardships to bring us to this point, that the Shi'ah will one day set the grounds for the re-emergence and the rise of our Imam. Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam, when he's speaking about ta'ziyah, he says, Kafaka min at-ta'ziyah. It suffices for you in condoling or grieving with the person who has lost a loved one, that the Sahib al-Musibah sees you. The Sahib al-Musibah of tonight is Sahib al-Zaman. Imam al-Sadiq is saying it's enough that the Sahib al-Musibah sees you, because if your father or grandfather or a loved one has passed away and you held a majlis, you remember who comes in and out of your majlis. You remember the person that came to offer condolences over your grandfather. Ya Sahib al-Zaman, all of us have come here tonight to remember your father. Ya Sahib al-Zaman, did it soothe your hearts when you saw us come into this majlis? Ya Sahib al-Zaman, did it make you happy when you saw your lovers attend this majlis today? Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Muhammad, ya Hasan ibn Ali, أيها الزكي والعسكري ابن رسول الله، أجرك الله يا بقية الله، وأحسن الله لك العزاء على أبيك الحسن. It's narrated his servant Aqid entered the room and he saw that my master was shivering and shaking. He tells his servant, bring me a glass of water. When he places the cup in the hands of Imām Al-Askari, my oppressed master was shaking so much that at one point the cup would hit the teeth of my master. Aqid, do you hear the cup hitting the teeth of Imām Al-Askari? Or do you hear Khayzaran hitting the teeth of Husain? He says, go get my son, he is in the other room in Sajdah. He enters the room, he sees a boy like the full moon in prostration. He says, my master has summoned you to come towards him. Sahib al-Zaman enters the room. Imām Al-Askari sees his son, he says, Ya Sayyid Ahl-Bayt. He's seen his son, he's happy to see the Mahdi. He says, Isqin al-ma, Mahdi. I asked my servant to hand me some water, but with you I want to drink water from your hands. This is the way it's supposed to be. A son is supposed to bring water for his father when he's thirsty. How does Imam al-Sajjad leave Karbala when his father hadn't had a drop of water? When he returns to Karbala, he writes on the grave, it burns his heart. He says, هذا قبر الحسين بن علي بن أبي طالب هو الذي قتلوه عطشانا غريبا. يا صاحب الزمان, good for you. You took the head of your father onto your chest. Every Imam is like this. Every Imam that is leaving this world held on to the head of his father. Even Rasulullah was in the lap of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Even with Zahra, her head is in the chest of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Al-Hasan wal-Husayn have thrown themselves on the chest of their mother. Amma la yawka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. Tell me, why is your cheek all dusty? Assalamu ala al-khadd al-tarib. Muharram Safar over, it's our last majlis. In the tent, now no one is saying Al-Atash, Al-Atash. Everyone's eyes and ears are fixated on the Maidan. All of a sudden, Dhul Jannah is returning. My father has now returned, his horse is returning. If Sakina sees Dhul Jannah return without his rider, and Husain's clothes are on a soldier. They were fighting over his clothes and armor. If Dhul Jannah returned without his rider, and Husain's clothes are on a soldier, then Sakina now knows what they did to her father. They killed him without giving him any water. Sallallahu صلى الله عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك يا الله. If our aza was done with takabbur and riyah, if we spent Muharram in Safar negligent of the right of the Ahlul Bayt, Ya Allah, every believer that has attended the majalis, forgive them. Ya Allah, place your love and the love of the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt in our hearts and in the hearts of our families. Ya Allah, tonight is Thursday night, our marhumin are waiting for us. Send the thawab of this majlis to their graves and allow it to illuminate their path in the hereafter. Ya Allah, the position of the Shahādah is already high, elevate them higher. Ya Allah, protect our leader, our maraja, all of those on the front lines of Islam. Ya Allah, through our hands, strike the enemies and oppressors of Islam. Ya Allah, through our hands, relieve all of the oppressed in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Iraq, in all of the Shi'ah world, in all of the world of Islam. Ya Allah, our greatest on this night, on the night of the Imam of our time, is that we beseech you, allow us to be the foremost of commanders in the army of Sahib al-Zaman, and that his rise is hastened through our actions, through our obedience. وعجل اللهم في فرج مولانا صاحب الزمان رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات.